Hi, hello, namaskaram. So, as part of our inclusive education paper seminar, I am going to deal with the topic of health impairment disorders like epilepsy, ADHD, and what like that diseases. So, through this video, I will be sharing about the assessment approaches for evaluation of the person with ADHD and epilepsy and that like disabilities. Okay, so from this class you may be understand how to treat a student with these kind of health impairments. Okay, we know about that neurological issues from our early classes, like there are so many disorders like what disorders like Parkinson, Alzheimer's, epilepsy. So there are so many like these disorders are in the universe. So we don't want to terminate these kind of students from the society or from the school. We want to include everyone in the mainstream as part of inclusive education. We are not excluding anyone. We are including everyone. So for this, we are going to learn about what are the assessment approaches. In the previous videos, you may learned about assistive approaches, like that things. So in this video we will be learning about assessment approaches. We know that ADHD is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. These kind of students will be hyperactive in the class. And we know about epilepsy. It's like this, like what we will say. In Malayalam, there is a term called epilepsy, means abasmaram. Like that, it's also a kind of disorder. So we want to have an assessing plan for each of the disorders. For ADHD, we normally use executive function focus. This kind of assessments focus on students' ability to demonstrate knowledge without being penalized for executive dysfunction. So we are not using of his dysfunction. Use chunk test and time intervals with breaks. So we want to give breaks and time interval for conducting the test of this kind of pupils. Okay, and next is the thing we are going to speak about is environmental adaptation. So minimize cognitive load by assessing in distraction free zone. So assess them in a distraction free zone. Okay, prioritize assessment for learning by providing immediate strength based feedback on the progress. So we want to assess them by after conducting an exam with a proper time and everything. We want to assess them by giving immediate feedback. Means it is like formative evaluation, and we want to know where they are lacking and we want to support them. So this is strength based feedback system, as we say. Okay, so next is epilepsy. Epilepsy means abasmaram, I said now. This is epilepsy. Epilepsy is a kind of disorder. So here also epilepsy we evaluate like safety first evaluation. Stress is major seizure trigger. So if the main trigger for this kind of epilepsy is that what we will say this stress, assessment should be occur in low stress environment with flexible scheduling to the account for post-ictal fatigue or medical events. So here the assessment should be carried out in a low stress atmosphere. No, not like very high stressful, like pressureful way. We want to do it in a low stress environment with a flexible scheduling to account for post-ictal fatigue or medical events. Okay, we want to consider his post-ictal fatigue or medical events. Okay, use multiple means of expression, means we don't focus on any one type of exam called written examination. We can use oral examination, you can use written exam. So whatever the method we can use to teach them. It's fine in motor control is impacted by medication side by affects or neurological activity. And this is a kind of neurological disorder, so that's why, and the nervous system of our body is dealing with this kind of this health impairments. 1 minute. 1 minute person. So next is juvenile neurodegenerative condition. We know that we are going to teach the students of the fifth, sorry, ninth standard, 10th standard. Even though we are going to teach school students, so it's juvenile period of them. This juvenile period also may have some neurological issues. We know that in future it may the neurological system may destroy, and we get so many disorders like Alzheimer's, not epilepsy, Parkinson, like that. So many diseases are there, and like that in the juvenile session, in this younger period also, student may lack some neurological problems, and so in that juvenile neurodegenerative conditions are functional stability. So monitor childhood Alzheimer's, example Sanfilippo, or Parkinson through functional milestone rather than strict academic benchmarks. So here we are not following the strict academic benchmarks. We are following what Alzheimer's and Parkinson. We are following functional milestones. We are looking about the functional stability. Next is age equivalent scoring. Utilizing age equivalent scoring or age X to track developmental trajectory or recognize maintenance of skill during the period of decline. So here we are checking it for a period of time. During the period of decline, we are checking whether the they can track the developmental trajectory and recognize maintenance of skill, etc. Next is dignity in assessment. Shift to quality of life indicators ensure evaluation does not cause distress. Focus on engagement and social connectivity. So here we are focusing on engagement and social connectivity. By interacting with pupils, by engaging with pupils, the stress will be lost, like that. So these are the juvenile neurological problems, and it may cause like Alzheimer's, epilepsy, and whatever I said is. So next is framework for success. So up to now we discussed about what are the issues facing by the juvenile or the school students. Next we are interpreting for the universal design for learning to remove systematic barriers. So we know that what is UDL. UDL is universal design for learners. This is like a unique kind of giving, assessing, or any helping students with disabilities. So here we, with the help of UDL, we are going to assess the students. So UDL for learning. So here as part of UDL we are giving multiple means of representation, means provide assessment instruction in visual, auditory, and tactile format. Here we are assessing them on the basis of visual representation or auditory and tactile. So using their senses we are assessing them in different ways, visually, auditory, or tactile, etc. Multiple mean of action allow students to show what they know through speech to text, video, or project. So through different ways like speech to text, video, project, like that, um, like that, and they make allow student to show what they know. So we can assess by this method also. So here different ways are used to show what they know. Next is multiple means of engagement. Offer choices in assessment topic to spark interest and reduce anxiety. Okay, means here choices are offer choices in assessment topic. So here they are given choices. They are not given to take all the topic. they are given choices. So this is the with using the UDL we can do like this. And for assessment adaptation we can classify it into three columns. One is accommodation column, another is a modification column, and the third one is assistive technological column. This assistive technological part we guys will be dealing with detailedly. And there is a two column like application for ADHD or epilepsy and application for Parkinson's. So we know that ADHD and epilepsy, accommodation is extra time, frequent breaks, quiet room. So we are providing a quiet room with less stress for them to study, and frequent breaks are given. They are not given to take to assess in a single step. So here they need extra time rather than the normal students, they need extra time. So we are giving them extra time. So these are the accommodation for a student with ADHD or epilepsy. And what means modification? So here we are reducing number of math problems. We are only giving less number of math problem with not that much complexity. Next is assistive technology. So these kind of peoples may use visual timers, noise cancelling headphone, etc. Okay. And even for Parkinson we are providing scribe for writing exam, and alternative functional curriculum goals are the modifications, and eye tracking software is there, wheelchair access is there. So for these kind of neurological and health impairment like ADHD and epilepsy, um, there are accommodation, modification, and assistive technology that I discussed in this class. So next is real-time assessment techniques. So for that, guided feedback, one-on-one check-ins to ensure focus and provide immediate redirection for ADHD learners. Those students with hyperactive students, that is ADHD students, we will be dealing with one-on-one. That is, we will be talking to them. We will be assessing them individually. So this is guided feedback. So here the teacher will act as a mentor, guide, or a supporter, etc. So next is motor adaptation. Observational assessment for students with Parkinson like tremors to gauge conceptual mastery. So here motor adaptation is provided. The third one is self-assessment. Students use visual checklists to monitor their own progress, fostering a sense of autonomy and control. So here they are using a checklist to monitor their progress, and their progress they are checking their own progress, not others. So this is a kind of self-assessment. So during this lecture we learned about different types of assessment strategies given for the this kind of pupils. So next is showing an impact of inclusive assessment. We can show through this figure, this bar, we can know the engagement rate, the test anxiety, the skill retention, etc. In a very good manner. So this data suggests that multimodal assessment and environmental modification boost student confidence and reduce medical triggers like stress. So to reduce the medical stress, and it is very effective for the students learning and assessment. That's what this figure says, this bar chart says. So next is a quote. In this quote we will be dealing like inclusive assessment is not making test easier, it is about making the opportunity to demonstrate excellence possible for every unique mind. We know that everyone is unique, all are different, no one is similar. So inclusive assessment is not about making the test easier. It's not make about saying that we are making the test easier. It's like it is providing the opportunity to demonstrate uh, in a very unique manner. So we can use our own ways to assess, not a normal procedure like system. According to student needs we are giving the assessing opportunities. So that's what this code says. It's not making easier process, It's about finding unique minds. Okay, and we know that we studied psychology. In psychology we know Howard Gardner multiple intelligence theory. In that theory, when saying about there are different types of intelligence for a human, and so all are different. Like that, in this paper also we can say that all students are different, so all are different in their own ways. So in this session we learned about the assessment approaches, and everything related to epilepsy and the ADHD like disorders. So during this session we learned about diverse needs and this epilepsy consideration, juvenile condition like functional stability, age equivalent, scoring, dignity in assessment like that, UDL, different ways, multiple ways, and everything we learned during this session. So I hope you understood this topic. So that much only. If any doubt you can comment. Okay.